Namaste to all. An interesting question. The question is, what if everyone in this world attains moksha? What will happen? Because you say that Almighty God has created this world for Jivatmas. Jivatma should undergo their result of their karmas. So if every one of us in this world, if we attain moksha, what will Almighty God do? Will the universe creation will stop? What is your opinion? Very interesting question, but a very simple answer. Basically, yeah, first of all, it is impossible that everyone in this world will attain moksha in the same time. That means within this 4.3 billion years of this lifespan of this universe, or this earth we can say, because we are living in this earth, let's say 4.3 billion years, 4.32 billion years is the lifespan as per the Vedas. So if within this 4.32 billion years, if all the Jivatma can attain moksha or not is the first question. It's impossible because what we see, we observe in this world. How many of us are doing tapasya? How many of us are believing in Almighty God? How many of us are believing in that Almighty God who is really Almighty God, who is described by Almighty God in the Vedas? 0.0001%. So, and God says in the Vedas, Na anya pantaha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other path to win over the cycle of birth and death. So if we have to attain moksha, everybody should follow Vedas. Let's say, for example, if all the worldly people, everyone in this world starts following Vedas, everyone from India up to America, all the people, let's say they start following Vedas, they start listening Vedas, start doing everyday worship of Almighty God, Agnihotra, doing Shubh Karma, Satya, Himsa, Sthaya, Parigra, Brahmacharya, Yam, Niyamasan, Pranayam. If everyone starts doing Vedic Shubh Karma in this world, and of course they will attain moksha. God says in the Vedas that when you follow my path, and there is no doubt that you will, you cannot have any doubt that you will not attain moksha. You will attain moksha for sure. So within the lifespan of this universe, 4.3 billion years, everybody will surely attain moksha. Then what will happen? Will God create another Srishti, other creation? Yes, He will create. He will create, and He has to create a Swabhavaki Jnanam Bhalam Kriyacha. God's Gyan, the knowledge of the Almighty God, the infinite knowledge, the infinite power is Swabhavik. Like I give an example, my Acharya gives a beautiful example that the moment the current is cut off in your house, the power is off. The moment the power is off, automatically the inverter will act immediately. This is called Swabhavik action. So similarly, Almighty God's karmas are Swabhavik. Almighty God's creation of the universe we cannot be stopped, and He will not stop it. Why? See, because you are only having a purview of the human beings. How many human beings are living today? Let's say 8 billion human beings. How many dogs are there? How many cats are there? How many snakes are there? How many donkeys are there? How many elephants are there? How many cows are there? These are other animals. They are also Jivatma. This world is needed for them. They are also Bhogyoni, and they will also come after their Bhog is over. They will get a human birth. So universe creation will happen for those Jivatmas. We are only seeing one point of view of human beings, but we are not seeing animals, we are not seeing plants, we are not seeing the insects, we are not seeing the bacteria in the air. Everything is Jivatma, and also there are billions and trillions to the power of trillions Jivatmas living across the universe in each and every planet. So they also need this universe to survive upon. So God will not stop creating the universe if the human beings attains moksha. Human beings, we are only 8 billion. There are trillions to the power of trillions Jivatmas. So God's creation will continue. But it's very important to understand that in today's situation where we are living today, it's impossible that 1 in billion, 8 out of 8 billion, 1 or 2 in 8 billion also attaining Samadhi, Moksha is impossible in today's situation. Because today's out of 8 billion population, let's say 10,000 people are following Vedas. Out of 10,000 people, how many of that 10,000 are really Jigyasu? How many of the 10,000 knows a Samadhist yogi? How many of the 10,000 serves an Acharya? And how many of the 10,000 does Nishkam karma. Nishkam karma means that karma, first of all, is Vedic Shubh karma inspired by the Vedas, and secondly, they do not expect a result from Almighty God that I am doing this, please give me this. Nishkam, they don't have any complete surrender to Almighty God. How many of the people? Maybe 1, 2, or even not even 1, 2. So the question of all the whole world attaining moksha is impossible to happen. I think the same question asked once to Adi Shankaracharya by his disciple, I heard from some textbook. Adi Shankaracharya replied that, why you are living in a imaginary world? Please be practical. So this is very, very important for us to understand. Of course, the answer is very clear. God's universe creation will not be stopped. He will, the creation, sustenance and destruction of the universe will continue to happen. Either we attain moksha or not we attain moksha, because the Jivatmas are unlimited and constant, of course. So this is one question. The second question was, yesterday one gentleman was asking me that I'm in mental distress because my family says that Sri Krishna is avatar of Almighty God. I'm unable to live with these people who are believing that Sri Krishna is Almighty God. So my only suggestion, I have always told in many of my videos, when you are worshipping Almighty God as per Vedas, and when your family, when your relatives, when your close friends, when your parents, they are not believing what you are believing in, then you must be intelligent. You must be careful and intelligent. Why careful? Because of the Sangat, because of we are in and day out we are in contact with them. Likelihood is 99% we will get deviated and we will go out of Vedic path because of their Sangat, number one possibility. So this is very, very important. We must be very careful, extremely careful. Like, my Acharya used to tell from Ramayana, when, I think Sri Ram or somebody, Lakshman, asked Vibhishan, everyone here is Rakshas. Everyone here is like, they are meat eaters, Kami, Krodhi, Lobi, Lalchi, atheist people. How are you Devata? How are you able to protect yourself? See, one guy in the whole of the Sri Lanka is a Vedic follower. So he says, see, I protect myself just like the tongue is protecting itself from the teeth. It's not getting bitten by the teeth. The tongue is protecting itself. Similarly, I protect myself based on my own tapasya. Atmaneva Atmani Tushtaha. So be very careful when you are living with your friends and relatives who are not Vedic followers. And second very important thing is, never ever show hatredness towards them. We do not have right to hate somebody because their thinking and our thinking is different. It could be possible because they have their own, they have their own brought up, they have their own culture, they have their own belief system. But we must not get hatredness towards them. If we develop the gentleman who asked this question, he said, I'm feeling irritated, I'm not liking to be living in this place. So slowly what will happen, you will develop an hateful character towards your uncle or towards your parents, towards your relatives. And this hate, the moment we get dvesh inside us, it will slowly ensure that we will go away from the Vedic path. So be careful that you do not hate. Why you are hating others? If they are not following Vedas, it's their own karma. If you are following Vedas, it's your own karma. So why do you expect others to follow what you follow? This is very, very important. And the third important thing is, when you are following Vedas, when others are not following Vedas, don't discuss with them. Never discuss Vedas with them. Discuss only if they come and ask you. Like, in my family, of course I'm a Tamilian, my family, my parents were not Vedic followers. I never discuss Vedas with my parents. I never discuss Vedas with my relatives. When I go to function or some shadi, marriage ceremony or some other function, I try to avoid. But once in a year, once in 2 years, when I meet them, I never speak anything about Vedas. When they ask, okay, you are talking that God is formless, you are not coming to worship the Kul Devata. If they ask, then I will reply. But I say very clearly that it's your belief system is different. Vedas is different. So let's not discuss, because we will not come into an agreement at all. So we must be very, very careful not to discuss Vedas with those people who do not believe in Vedas. Because the moment you start discussing Vedas, you will have an expectation with them that okay, they should also follow Vedas. So, and definitely they will not follow Vedas. The moment they will not follow Vedas, you will get into trauma. Because you have a desire and the desire is not fulfilled, you will get krodha. So be very, very careful not to expect others to follow what you follow. Allow them to follow what they follow. If they get, sometimes it has happened even in my office. Some of the colleagues have seen my video who are not colleagues now. They have seen my videos, they got impressed. Yeah, what you are speaking is probably truth. I want to come to your Guruji. Can you take me? I said, I cannot take you. If you want to go, you go. Some people have come with me because of timing, and I'm not saying due to ahankar, but one of the guy was behind me to take him to Guruji, but I didn't have time that point of time. He went alone. So because I tell him always, this path is Agni Mide Purohitam. It's a singular path. God says in the Vedas, the first mantra of Rig Veda is Agni Mide, singular. This path is the path to walk alone. Don't expect to join hands with 100,000 people. Of course, God says, Sangachatvam Samvadatvam. God says everyone in the society must have the same thinking, but the path is a singular path. We must do our own tapasya. We should not expect others to join tapasya. If they join our tapasya, if they join our sangat, it's a different thing. But do not force others, do not expect others to believe what you believe in. If others say Sri Krishna is Almighty God, let them worship Sri Krishna. My own family, my sister is a ardent fan of Sri Krishna. They are Krishna Bhaktis, Krishna Premis. They say chant Krishna Krishna Rama Rama. I don't have any problem. Of course, it is their own belief system. My sister has a Guruji. He has taught that Sri Krishna is Almighty God. So, since we have never studied the original Mahabharata, or even before coming to my acharyas, Sharan, I have not studied original Mahabharata. I have not studied original Ramayana. I was always thinking Sri Krishna is God. I was always thinking Rama was God. I was always thinking that avatar happens. But the moment I came in contact with my acharya, then I started my research. I started reading these books. Then I understood, these people are not avatars. So don't force others. Just try to be neutral. Try to be silent. Try to be calm. Don't expect others to help you in the Adhyatmic path. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.